Hello from the Dukascopy TV studio in Geneva. I'm Daniel Schwenger. We're talking about employee engagement and social media with Kamalish Lardi. She is a digital and social media expert from Zurich. Kamalish, welcome to the studio.
Thank you for having me.
So, social media, everybody thinks knowing about it. Employee engagement, what do these things have in common and actually how do they go together?
Well, as we know, social technologies are basically very social in the sense that it has elements in it that help communication and interaction. And it's kind of an extension of the face-to-face communication that people have. And so using these technologies within a company environment to promote communication and feeling of community and culture change is actually quite a growing trend at the moment. And there are a couple of things you can actually see from the use of social technologies within a company environment. So for example, internal collaboration, improving process efficiencies, the way people collaborate and interact with each other and work on projects, for example, across different locations. You also see social empowerment, which is really building a community feel within a company. So this can go a long way in terms of building and promoting and strengthening company culture. And also brand advocacy, for example. So really looking at creating advocates within your company who can help amplify your social media or your brand message on social media.
Mm-hmm. So normally social media is seen as an external way, as external communications instrument. Now this can also be used as an internal communications instrument. And so what could be examples like how to use social media for employee motivation and engagement?
Some good examples would be, as I said, we could use it for helping to promote project and collaboration within the company, knowledge management and knowledge capture, for example. A good example of this is with Swiss Re. So one of the things that they wanted to do a couple of years ago, somewhere in 2008, was to really look at the kinds of knowledge and skills that they have within the company and try to leverage that better. And so one of the things they did was to create a collaboration strategy using social technologies, and they used the Jive platform to really try to solidify knowledge management within the company. So try to capture the right knowledge, try to see what kind of skill sets they have, and also helping employees to share information across. We also do see a lot of companies, for example, companies that are merging or companies that are going through a certain structural change, using social technologies to help promote and solidify their company culture. So there are many ways that you can actually use internal collaboration platforms.
Mm-hmm. And what sectors or also what kind of departments of companies would be particularly benefiting from employee engagement through social media?
In my opinion, there aren't any specific sectors that benefit additionally from it. I think it's applicable across whatever sector that the company wants to apply it in. What we do see are trends within the hotel and tourism industries, as well as retail and technology industries, where companies are quicker to adopt the technology. That's also perhaps because they have started using social media for external communication a little bit earlier. But we do see examples like insurance companies. For example, as I mentioned, Swiss Re, we see companies like, or global banks starting to use it. Banking industry is there's a great potential for social technologies use internally, simply because they went through such a rough patch a couple of years ago. And a lot of the global banks saw a change within the company, large changes that had huge negative impacts. And so social technologies could be applied to really build the company culture again and strengthen the community feeling with employees. I actually recently worked with a global bank that implemented social media or an internal platform that allowed the collection and curation of all their social media messages to make it easy for their employees to then share that across their own networks. So that was one way of using social media as well.
So the employees were really then encouraged to be the brand ambassador for the company.
Yes, and what is interesting though is that they did it with the caveat or with the prerequisite that the internal structures were set up first. And I think this is very, very important. So making sure you have the policies and governance structures in place, making sure you have the response management and escalation processes in place, and making sure that your employees are well trained and educated on these channels before then opening up and saying free flow, go ahead and use the channels.
Very interesting. And what additional developments do you see in this field of employee engagement and social media?
I definitely think that we're going to see a lot more companies in various sectors starting to utilize it, particularly in the area of brand advocacy. So using employees as their brand advocates. And this basically means making them understand the technologies and also engaging well with them, that they are happy and able to promote and amplify the brand message. Another thing I've started to see more of is gamification elements. So these social technology platforms that are used within the company, using game elements to create a sense of healthy competition and engagement with employees. And this is also a nice element because you get people engaged, you get them involved, and you have this inner competitive nature that you want to do well, and you get the recognition and kind of a reward within yourself or within your peer group. The other thing we see a lot of is mobile use. So we see an increasing number of employees across various sectors becoming mobile employees or mobile workforce. So people traveling more, people working from home a little bit more as well. And social technologies being used then to keep them connected and keep them engaged, and helping communication and helping making sure that their daily work life still runs as it should.
Kamalish Lardi, digital and social media expert from Lardi & Partners in Zurich. Thanks so much for being here and sharing your expertise with us.
Thank you for having me, Daniel.
And thanks for watching. Do make sure to keep clicking back on the Dukascopy TV website for latest updates and exclusive interviews. Have a great day and see you next time.